To this headline story now, the ANC is wrapping up its special NEC meeting today after a weekend marred by audio leaks and deep divisions over that contentious step-aside rule. At the center of the conflict is whether the likes of suspended ANC Secretary-General Ace Magashule should stay in the fold while they face charges in court. Our reporter Mbali Thethani has been following the story. Joins us now live from the ANC headquarters, Luthuli House in Johannesburg. Mbali, the divisions in the ANC are nothing new. Perhaps what might take people by surprise now is this talk of a possible implosion. What are you hearing?
You're certainly right there, Ayan, that divisions continue to plague the ruling party, and many can really attribute this, Ayan, to that 2017 conference in Nazareth, where we saw President Cyril Ramaphosa winning his vote by at least 51%. And that, from then onwards, it just tells you that the party continues to find itself divided into these two factions, that one of President Cyril Ramaphosa as well as that of former President Jacob Zuma. And of course, if anything is to go by looking at the developments building up to this NEC meeting, it was quite dramatic, Ayanda. We know that we saw the suspension of the Secretary-General Ace Magashule, and subsequently we saw a counter-suspension coming out from the Secretary-General's office from Magashule, purporting to suspend President Cyril Ramaphosa. And looking at just those developments, it was just it continues to be a very harsh time for the ruling party as it continues to preach unity, it continues to preach renewal, and it continues to preach reconstruction. Now, Ayanda, we know that over the weekend during this NEC meeting, we kept on seeing a number of leaks coming out from that virtual meeting. We know that that 3-day meeting is indeed a virtual meeting. We also know that the Secretary-General was kicked out of that meeting because his suspension continues to be underway. But what was quite telling and what was quite interesting is listening to those clips coming out from that meeting, and in particular the one from the former President Thabo Mbeki, just talking about a collapse within the party. Let's take a listen, Ayanda, to what exactly he had to say when addressing his colleagues in the ANC.
Some other comments have made similarly very really serious remarks about the state of organization. The comrade Chupo, I think that's how you pronounce the name, much earlier had called for a retreat. And he said that retreat must discuss this question. Do we still have any organization called the ANC? That's a very, very serious challenge, comrades, that a comrade says we need to meet, he said 2 or 3 day retreat, seriously to look at this matter. He's followed by Comrade Batabile, and Comrade Moko spoke in support of Batabile. Both of them representing the Women's League. And the central point that Comrade Batabile made is this, that the movement is about to collapse. I'm saying, Comrade Chair, you have this question. Do we still have any organization called the ANC?
Do we still have any organization called the ANC? I mean, this is the same Thabo Mbeki Mbali, who you remember earlier this year, reports emerged about him questioning whether there is any integrity in the office of the Secretary-General. Those comments coupled with this certainly paint a picture of a man who's, let's call it, troubled about where the ANC is headed.
And that's right, Ayanda. Now we continue to even see calls from different parts of the country, especially the ANC's branches. Just yesterday, we saw the eThekwini branch showing their support for Ace Magashule, calling for him to be reinstated in his position. At the same time, Ayanda, they are also now saying that they are showing their support for former President Jacob Zuma, because we know that he still has the matter to deal with in the Constitutional Court and in relation to the Zondo Commission. So it will be quite interesting today, seeing that it is the last day of that NEC meeting. And you know that traditionally the ANC, we know that the president of the party, Cyril Ramaphosa, who his presidency has also been questioned by members in the NEC. It will be interesting to see if whether he will be briefing the nation in his closing address, or will then be called back to Luthuli House, where members of the media will be told what was the outcomes of that NEC meeting.
Mbali Thethani, thanks very much indeed. She's live to us there from just outside the ANC headquarters, Luthuli House in Johannesburg.